As we just marked 3 years since the pandemic began, comes the time to raise awareness about an important illness related to it. Long COVID is when the symptoms of COVID-19 persist for more than 12 weeks after contracting the virus. Even people who only experience mild symptoms are affected. About 10 to 30% of people who got COVID-19 will get long COVID.
You know, there's a whole range. There are people who have minimal symptoms, but there are a great many patients that we're seeing who are really disabled, who are not able to go back to work, not able to go to school. They're very limited by a variety of symptoms. So it's a wide range of disability caused by this syndrome.
While there are hundreds of different symptoms, some of the most common ones are fatigue, shortness of breath, cognitive problems like memory loss or difficulty thinking, as well as anxiety or depression.
I can't even walk more than like 10 minutes at a time, and I used to be like a varsity athlete. Like I played soccer in university and I was an athlete my whole life, so that's definitely a different experience for me.
Doriana Homersky contracted COVID-19 back in March 2020, and she still has long COVID.
I spend a lot of my time in bed. It's really, some days, it depends on, like, honestly, it depends on the day. I've had a lot of bad days.
The mission for today is to bring people together and increase awareness about long COVID, which is often forgotten and left out of discussions about the pandemic.
A lot of us feel like we've been left behind. A lot of people still don't know what long COVID is.
Many people took to social media posting black and white pictures of something they can't do because of long COVID.
Today is a day to raise awareness around that fact and think about how we can do better to support patients who are dealing with long COVID.
While there are some clinics and healthcare services for those who have long COVID, there isn't any specific treatment.
There is no specific treatment for long COVID, and at the root of that problem is the fact that we don't know what causes it. There are still theories. Could it be that the virus is still around? Could this be an autoimmune process of some kind? But since we don't know, there is no established treatment. There are some drug studies coming down the pike.
Many healthcare professionals say it's a serious problem that needs to be addressed.
You know, we see these incredible pockets of excellence across the country in different places. We've seen some hospitals set up long COVID programs and clinic programs and monitoring programs. Some of them are virtual, some are in person, and I think that's great. What we really need is increased funding along with the awareness and a really robust strategy that aims to support patients with long COVID coast to coast, because this issue is not going away and it will become more and more important as time goes on.
According to a Canadian survey released in October last year, 15% of adults who got COVID-19 also experienced long COVID. And in that 15%, almost half had symptoms that lasted a year or longer. Today, some people will wear a tricolor long COVID awareness ribbon, which is gray, black, and teal, to represent lost hope and isolation. Kelly?